on Wednesday. All right, got Doug Johnson in the sports office tonight. What do you have for us, Doug?
Well, Dennis, what's the next best thing besides the weather about this month? March Madness. It's here. Tomorrow is Selection Sunday, and today all the different conferences, tournaments, were holding their championship games. Now, first up at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, who is ranked 8th in the country, rallied in the final 3 minutes against Kentucky, who is ranked 4th in the country. The Volunteers coming back from 8 points to win 82-78, and they will advance to Sunday's SEC tournament title game against Auburn. Meanwhile, Auburn had a thrilling win over Florida. Jared Harper having a late three-pointer, giving the Tigers a 65-62 win over the Gators. Tennessee and Auburn will face off tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Meanwhile, Oregon made a run in the Pac-12 tournament in Las Vegas. The Ducks beat Washington by more than 20 points, 68-48, winning the program's 5th all-time tournament title and becoming the second number 6 seed to win the crown in event history. The Huskies are still expected to get a spot in the tournament, and Arizona State also has a legitimate shot. And again, you should start filling out your brackets because tomorrow is the day that they will be official. Meanwhile, the Kings had another heartbreaking loss on the road. They have now lost 3 of their last 3 games, but they stayed in the game late last night in Philly right up until the very bitter end. Third quarter, Kings down by 3. Buddy Buckets heels sinks the 3 to tie the game up at 68. But later in the third, Tobias Harris on the Sixers cuts the rim for the dunk. And late in the fourth, Joel Embiid makes the fadeaway jumper. Embiid pumping up the crowd, and he finishes with 21 points. Sixers win 123-114. Here's Coach Dave Yeager remaining optimistic even with the disappointing loss.
We're playing hard. We're playing hard. We're playing the right way. We're playing together. The wins are going to come. Our guys are getting better all the time. I mean, look, Marvin Bagley popped out of, hadn't played in 2 weeks. I broke my heart taking him out of the game tonight. But I'm going to, side with, our strength and conditioning crew and our athletic trainers that, he's on a minutes restriction, and that's part of the NBA game. And but our guys are playing hard together and they're fighting, and I'd love nothing more for them to get a win.
Yeah, we'd love nothing more than for that either. Coming up after the break, the A's are playing an unusual team overseas. We'll tell you where they're headed and why it's a matchup you don't normally see in baseball. Your weekend sports report is coming up next. Well, after 5 years with the Oakland Raiders, Donald Penn will not be playing with the Silver and Black for their last season in Northern California. The offensive tackle was released by the team today as the Raiders continue a multi-year reconstruction of their offense. The Raiders signed Penn in 2014 after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers allowed him to depart in free agency. Penn started all but 2 games over the next 4 years. He earned multiple Pro Bowl nods and helped the Raiders end a 14-year playoff drought. All the Sharks had to do tonight was win, and San Jose would have clinched a playoff berth. But the Nashville Predators, well, they came into the Shark Tank tonight fighting. Wayne Simmons and Michael Haley boxing it out after Nashville took an early lead. Sharks answered back with a goal from Timo Meier, but shortly after, Victor Arvidsson gets a stick on it, shot into the goal. Nashville back in front. Then in the second period, the Sharks tie it back up, but the Predators score 2 more. In the end, the Sharks lose this one 4-2, and they are unable to clinch for a second straight home game. The A's have left Arizona and are now getting ready to start the regular season in Japan. Here's a video of them arriving and taking batting and field practice. In a few days, they'll be facing the Seattle Mariners in the first official opening day game of the 2019 season at the Tokyo Dome, playing 2 of their games in their opening series. But before that, the A's are doing some fun exhibition games against the Nippon Ham Fighters. Manager Bob Melvin says a trip like this can be a good bonding experience for the team.
We do have a certain group of core guys now that have been together after last year, but it certainly does not hurt. And for any of the new guys coming in, you kind of learn about everybody that much quicker. Your families are together, you have functions and so forth. So I think regardless, it's a team building type of thing, but maybe not in the fashion of 12 because we had a bunch of guys that had not played together before.
Meanwhile, the Giants continue Cactus League play in Arizona, taking on the Padres at Scottsdale Stadium, and they did have a great game. In the bottom of the third, Buster Posey races around the bases for an RBI triple, bringing home Joe Panic. Left fielder Josh Naylor just couldn't find the ball in the sun and the wind. A big problem for him later in the game as well. Take a look as Brandon Crawford hits a high fly ball deep left center. But again, Naylor could not find it. Crawford gets 3 RBIs, Posey with 2. The G-men kept finding the gaps in the Padres' defense. Giants win this game 10-3. Meanwhile, Giants pitcher Jeff Samardzija says maybe, just maybe, there shouldn't be ties in baseball. As you know, players are in more than 160 games every season. Sometimes games go into the 18th inning and don't end until early in the morning. That's why Friday, Samardzija made the suggestion of having ties in baseball to eliminate extra innings, but his skipper, Bruce Bochy, doesn't agree with him.
I think some of the greatest games have been extra inning games, epic games. Still go back and look, and yeah, we've been part of them, but no, that's the exciting part of baseball. So no, I'm not into the tie deal, and so no, I'd want to play till we finish it.
All right, we all know that golf is not an easy game to play. Just ask Rory McIlroy. Check out this tee shot drive he had into the trees at the Players' Championship tournament in Florida today. A couple of spectators actually had to move out of the way as his ball hit some branches on the way down, and it bounces on the cart path. Then on his second shot, McIlroy stabs it out of the pine needles. It goes over the green, past the fairway, past the green, and past the flag. Can you see where it's going? Yep. Into the water, right into the drink. But although this was a bad hole for McIlroy, he would still finish his round at under 14. I got to be honest, Joe, if I was playing in that tournament, I would probably have a couple of drives just like that.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a big golfer. I got to go back to the baseball thing. Ties? Come on. I feel like most of the fans would agree with Coach there. That
I mean, everyone says it's free baseball when you get extra innings, right? So it's like they're depriving us from that.
Very exciting stuff. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.